Sonic Team is a game development company best known for games like Nights into Dreams and Samba de Amigo. Best known for the Sonic the Hedgehog series of games. Ever since the first title, Sonic Team has been in charge of near all of the main series Sonic games and all of the success, among other things. There is one standalone title in the Sonic Team lineage of games that doesn't get talked about quite as much: Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. This was actually the first game Sonic Team made for the GameCube that wasn't a port or a collection. In fact, it was a GameCube exclusive until a few years later when it got ported to the computer. So, what does Sonic Team give us when it's not dishing out games at the speed of sound? A little boy in a chicken suit. At face value, that sounds rather childish. But at the same time, if somebody had come up to me a few years back and said,
"Hey, would you like to play a game about a little blue hedgehog?"
I probably would have been just as skeptical. But let's give this game a fair shot. But regardless of the outcome, I'm sure the game will be quite foul. The game starts with Morningland, a land of anthropomorphic chickens that's being overrun by evil crows, led by Dark Raven, who are casting an endless night. Meanwhile, in some other place, the titular hero, Billy Hatcher, is late for a meetup with 3 of his friends. Right before they get payback for his tardiness, a lone injured chicken comes out of the bushes. A crow then swoops down to attack the chicken, but Billy defends it with a stick. The chicken, seeing the courage the friends have, warps them to Morningland to help bring morning back. This game is pretty cuckoo. Get it? Okay. Billy gets advice at the beginning of each level by Meanie Fooney, the god of chickens. The god of chickens. Upon finding the chicken suit, Billy now has control over all eggs and can use them to his advantage. Using the eggs, he must free and hatch the chicken elders who crow and bring morning back to the regions. Then he must defeat the crow bosses who imprisoned the elders to stop them from returning. During his adventures, Billy finds out that Dark Raven is after the wish-granting giant egg. Well, it's no To Kill a Mockingbird. Honestly, the plot is the classic boy thrust into greatness story, just with a chicken skin. In all fairness, that's not a bad thing. I mean, take away the chicken skin and the game could be Zelda or Pokemon. In case it's not obvious yet, this game is aimed for a family-friendly type of audience. The happy world, the cartoony characters, the incredibly upbeat music, it all aims towards a younger crowd. And it could easily achieve that goal. Simply going through the story could keep a casual gamer entertained for a few hours. But that's not all the game has in it. Each world only needs you to complete the first 2 missions to move on. Free the chicken elder, beat the boss, and continue. But there are actually 8 levels in each world, 5 for Billy and 1 for each of his friends, Rolly, Chick, and Bantam. Points for subtlety. While only the first 2 levels are necessary, if you want to save Billy's friends and unlock their missions, you'll have to play different missions to get them. His friends control all the same as Billy, so they're really just a skin change, but I still like the idea of the team. Rolly's adorable, Chick is a rambunctious little tyke, and Bantam is there too. The first 2 missions are always the same. The 4th mission in 3 of the worlds are rescue missions, but the others are a bit more diverse. They can consist of simple find the emblem of courage quests, traveling game salesman tasks, races with animals, saving chickens, or defeating 100 enemies. In classic Sonic Team fashion, you get a grade for finishing each level, ranging from D to S. Plus, each level has 5 chick coins in it that you can find. Top it all off with a total of 67 different eggs you can find and hatch in the game, there's quite a bit you can do. But of course, this brings up whether or not it's fun doing those things. Well, Billy Hatcher as a protagonist is rather weak. He can run, has a pretty decent jump, and that's about it. Aside from grabbing onto some things, Billy can't do much by himself. He needs to have an egg in his hands and he becomes incredibly more powerful. He takes an egg and can roll it into enemies, shoot it at them from ground level or in the air, can bounce on them, roll with or on them, and just generally needs them to get around.
You know, the same way we can use them.
In order to hatch eggs, Billy has to smash fruit with them and have them grow as big as they can. I guess the fruit juices give them power or something. Or smashing things just makes them feel empowered and makes them grow.
Smashing fruit makes me feel empowered. Oh, yeah! Anyway, those eggs are practically omnipotent.
As long as Billy is pushing them, they can destroy almost everything. Billy's still an open target, but that egg isn't getting touched. So with a strong egg to hide behind, you'd think death wouldn't be too big of a deal, right? Actually, you'll find yourself dying a lot, because in certain levels it's rather easy to fall off the stage. Plus, as your egg gets bigger, it gets stronger, but it's also an even bigger hassle to navigate with. Throw some slightly floaty controls in there, and it's not a particularly enjoyable formula. Honestly, some of it's probably due to my own impatience, but it's still irritating. To its credit though, despite what I say about my impatience, I can still admit that Billy Hatcher is pretty fast paced. By dashing, Billy can move very quickly, getting from point A to point B in no time. And the arena parts where you have to fight enemies don't take too long, since enemies aren't a hassle to fight. So even though you die a lot, getting back to where you were isn't too big of a deal. By way of eggs, every egg acts the same, but they can give you different items when they hatch depending on the outside patterns. Their items can range from an animal buddy, which hold a few cameos, that can help you fight or change the environment, to items that allow Billy himself to get different abilities. After unlocking the final world and defeating Dark Raven, believe it or not, Billy Hatcher and friends save the day! After reluctantly saying goodbye, the four go back to their world and appreciate morning or something, I don't know. So that's the extent of Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. The story is nothing spectacular, it just kind of stands out a bit for its wacky theme. The controls are imperfect, for sure, but with a few exceptions, they're fun and easy to manage. And the game has enough to it to take up an entire weekend. So, ultimately, I guess you could call this game Qwerky. Thanks for watching me talk. And hey, I'm not the only guy on this channel, so go ahead and take a look at all of our other videos. And feel free to subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, want to play a game about a little blue hedgehog? Hedgehogs, love them? No? Want to play a game about them? Maybe. Maybe a little bit of a game. Serious take. Hey, want to play a game about a... Oh, God. Oh,